Thank you for tuning in to NeverLeveled TV. This is Pillow Talk. I am your girl, Kay Carter, where real and intimate conversations take place. Today, we will be discussing what are red flags within the first 90 days. We have a panel here that's going to give us a little more in tune when we get these red flags. First up, we have Mr. Carter. Darius, let us know something.
Going on, Darius Carter, no relation. You can find me King Carter, K11NGCRTER on Instagram. My relationship status currently, I am minding my business and drinking my water. That's what I'm doing.
That part, love it. Jen, let us know something.
Hi, my name is Jan. I go by Jan Rose. My Instagram is Hairplay Extensions. Currently at the moment, my situation is complicated.
Okay, sits T. Devin, let us know something.
All right, what up, everybody? Happy Hump Day. You can find me on IG at All World Dev, and I'm currently single and ready to mingle.
Okay. All right, Fashion.
Hi, my name is Fashion. My Instagram is @_TheRealFashionW. My current status is I am single, but I am ready to get out and mingle.
Okay, come through. Dame, let us know something.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Dame. Instagram one Dame, and I'm single.
Awesome. So I did share. I am also single and ready to mingle. So today I'm going to start it off. This chat is a red flag within the first 90 days when dating. For me, is if you're going on a date, right? Y'all listening? I hope y'all listening. When you go on your first date with the person you're trying to get to know, and your waiter comes over, they take your order, they come back with your food and your drinks, and then something's wrong. I'm paying attention to how that person is treating that waiter. If you're rude, if you're nasty in your comments or how you respond to that waiter, I'm taking note. Because if you're treating someone that you don't know, or maybe someone that's serving you that way, how would I expect you to treat me or my family or my friends? So to me, that's a red flag if someone is like completely rude to strangers, or someone that's quote unquote viewed as less than or a lower service. What y'all think?
I think that that's true, because for one, when you're dating someone, they can act one way with you, but you want to know how they are with everyone, with their mother, like you said, with their sisters, with everyone in their life. So I agree.
Has anyone ever, Devin, Jen, have y'all ever been in an experience where you're on a date and that's occurred in a situation for you?
Okay,
go ahead, Jen. Ladies first. No, ladies first.
Not that I could remember. I can't say, but I totally do agree with you, on that topic, but no situation that I can remember off top.
Okay. Devin,
I
already know.
I actually do have a situation.
Tell us.
We actually have a mutual friend, Kenesha.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say her name, but there was a time where we did go out just as friends. We went to a Mexican food restaurant, and she ordered something that she didn't want per se after she ordered it, and she ate it anyway. Okay. And I told her, like, hey, look, let's not if you don't want it, don't eat it. All right. But she ate it anyway, and she immediately harassed the waiter when he came back over, and told him pretty much like, I found this in my food. Like, you guys are this, you guys are that, you guys are terrible, this, that. Just pretty much berated him even though she ate the food. So
Right.
for me, it was very embarrassing because the waiter just he was like, bro, you ate the food already. So it was a mess. I was pretty much embarrassed. They pretty much ran us out of the restaurant. So I do agree that is a huge red flag.
But to somebody, they might say, that's pretty petty. I think that's something that I can overlook. Does anyone have anything else to add to that? Or are you like, yeah, I can see that? Darius, I'm looking at you.
Fair enough. I mean, I got a few questions, but my main question would be, does that have to be within the first 90 days? Because if you see that after the 90-day mark, do you just excuse it or do you address it? Another question would be, since you personally know that that's one of your red flags, how do you go about finding out if that's how they're going to act before you even get in this situation? I know what my trigger is. How can I figure out if that's going to be a trigger for me before we get in this situation? Because once we get to this restaurant, I'm not dealing with none of this that you're talking. We're not going through this. So I want to vet you before we get there.
Honey, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm knowing within the first 90 days because guess what? As men and women, when we're dating, usually we're trying to, within the first few weeks, it's like, hey, I'm going to take you out. I don't know, whatever type dates y'all go on. I might want to go rock climbing but most likely you're going to sit down, have either tea, coffee, drinks, dinner, lunch, whatever it is. Most likely you're going to go out to eat with that person. And that's going to be happening within the first 90 days. So, all right, the first time I'm going to pay attention like, oh, okay, I feel where you're coming from. If there's something constant, I used to be a server. So I think I value how people are treated in that industry a little more than others sometimes. So it could just be me, but I'm paying attention. So if there's something I agree and I was like, okay, then I feel where you're coming from. But if it's over the top and it's extreme, and if this is a constant thing, most likely there's not going to be too many dates I'm having with that person.
Yeah.
So, all right. So good. I think we're all on the same page. We're paying attention to how our date is treating other people. So let's move right along. I'm going to go over to fashion. Please tell me something that you feel personally that, okay, this is one of my top red flags when I'm dating someone, like, no, bro, if you do this, you gotta go.
I think I'm just big on honesty. So you just have to be honest, like you just have to be honest. And you kind of know when someone's being honest with you, not saying everything, but you kind of know if somebody's, playing you to the left, or they just giving you some BS's to why they, can't answer their phone, or why you guys can't hang out or something. I think you just have to pay attention to detail from the very beginning, but that's if you're dating with intentions.
Right. Yeah, because definitely I think if you don't have the intention, people will kind of lead you astray, sort of thing. So you
don't care, or you won't ask questions, or if you're not dating someone to actually, let me be with this person, you're kind of just riding the wave. It's like, okay, well, we link up when we link up.
Right. So when it comes to the honesty part, are you asking questions and then you're determining, okay, I feel like this person is not being transparent or honest with me, and then you're taking that and then you're deciding on what you want to do?
At this point now, I've decided that I want to start dating, like, intentionally. So I will start to ask the questions. But previous to this, because I've been single for 2.5 years now, so I wasn't asking any questions because I felt like it's not my jurisdiction. That's your business. I'm not trying to be with you, so it's not my business. And I didn't ask it.
Okay. All right. Anybody want to chime on the note of honesty when dating?
I do. I actually have a follow-up question for fashion. In terms of honesty, like, is there like a sliding scale in terms of honesty? Because some people are too honest, with how they feel or oversharing about different things? Like, is there a limit to your honesty? Is there a limit to honesty, period, to truthfulness? Like, how do you deal with a guy who overshares too many things that you don't even care about?
You know what? I want the honesty at this age and at this point. Let's just be honest about everything, because then you find yourself, say you're not as honest and you find yourself being with this person. Now you guys are not worked out and you guys have broken up, and now he's saying he hasn't been happy for years. And it's just like, I thought I was doing everything. So I just feel like if you start a regimen of being honest and you guys are honest about everything, whether it's you didn't like I slammed your car door a little too hard when we were getting out of it, just I want a airway to where you can come and I'm approachable. We can talk about whatever, regardless how small or how big.
And it sounds also not just honesty, like open communication. I want to be free to say how I feel and not feel, like you're putting me down if I'm sharing too much. I just want an open playing field that I can say how I feel and I feel like I'll be attacked if I do share that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's another aspect of that. And this is why you want to be completely honest from the get-go. Because if you guys get married, and then, things just start coming out like, man, I didn't know that about you. And I didn't know this about you. And now all this stuff is hitting you. And it could have been things, that he or she didn't tell you, that it would have been all bets off if she would have told you that, from the get-go. So you definitely want to be completely honest about everything, just past relationships, just everything, because you don't want to be hit with a surprise once that ring is on and the papers are signed. You don't want to be surprised about anything, So honesty is very, very important. So I just wanted to say that.
So Dave, if you don't mind sharing, because everyone did share their relationship status, are you open to say where you are in your dating life right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm single. I'm not. I'm on the rocks with mingling, because I don't know if anybody else here, but I've been married already. I've already done, I've already given my life over to someone, and it didn't work out, So I'm just on the rocks, I'm just seeing what's going on, trying to live the single life, trying to, I don't know, turn over new rocks in my own life.
So how long were you married?
I was married about 6 years, I think.
And how long have you been single now?
It's been about 1.5, 2 years. So, I mean, if we're counting when the divorce was final, it's been about probably 7-8 months. So, just turning over new leaves and rocks.
Yeah, you're figuring it out. So while we're on you, tell us, other than honesty or communication, what has been a red flag that not only before your marriage, during your marriage, and now after getting out there into the new single life, what do you feel is a red flag now when dating within the first 90 days?
Red flag, I mean, there's so many. Like,
choose one. Just one.
There's so many. But for me, I just really, I love an educated girl, so just being able to communicate, being able to put sentences, in order.
So it sounds like you're not asking for much.
I'm just, because, it's just nowadays a lot of people just don't know how to, articulate what they want to say and stuff like that. So just being able to say what you want to say and, not be emotional and stuff like that. And you know, I want kids. I want you to be able to teach my kids someday, you know, and be able to communicate with my kids effectively. So, you know, so I look at that.
So if she's intelligent, she has her head on straight, and she can be a nurturing woman, what is it that you're looking at to determine if that woman has those qualities?
I mean, you see it in her conversation and just the way she carries herself. You know, you would just see it. You know, you would just see it. And I pay attention. Just me being a man, I pay attention to everything. You know, that's just one of my traits. I don't know if it's a gift but I pay attention to every single detail, how she does everything. That's just how I am. And you'll see it. It'll come out, you know, even if someone is trying to pretend to be somebody that they're not, because, you know, people are smart, you know, they'll listen to what you're saying or what they like, what you like in a girl, and they'll try to act like that girl just to get you, you know what I mean? Yeah. But, you know, someone can only act for a certain amount of time. It'll always cut off. You'll always catch it. You know what I mean? So, and nobody can act for 24 hours, 7 days a week. You know what I mean? You'll always catch it. They'll slip up 1 or 2 times. You'll be like, oh, there she is. You know, so yeah, I just pay attention to everything, and I do it like that.
Okay, we are definitely here because we are talking about red flags within the first 90 days. And what happens sometimes as humans, even for myself, we give people chances. Like, I seen that red flag, but I was just like, it's okay, I'll let it slide. Sometimes we ignore those red flags. Sometimes we see, okay, they were tired. Maybe she wasn't able to act that day because now we're trying to make up excuses of why this person is doing something or acting a certain way. And we, as humans, we ignore it sometimes. So that's why we're having this conversation. Like, how can we be better going forward, dating, to really see, am I the toxic person when I'm dating? Or the person that I'm choosing, are, you know, are we not a match? Because for me, if I'm saying I can't deal with someone that's maybe obsessive and they're trying to put too much time, that we need to be together and they always want to be consumed with me, that's not okay, because I love my family, I love my friends, and I make time for my relationships with other people outside of the person I'm with. So, but for someone else, they might be a obsessive person. So 2 obsessive people can be probably flourish together, but not for me. Okay. So what are those things? And let's go to Darius. I need to hear. I'm listening. Hello.
She's my.
It's on mute. It's on mute. But
yeah.
So you're asking me one of my red flags.
Yes.
I'll sum it up and say, like, your expectations don't meet reality. That's a big one for me. And that can kind of encompass a lot of things, even with the whole, you know, dinner situation. Your expectation of getting good service didn't match the reality of you being an asshole to that person. So expecting to be treated a certain way, and you haven't even put forth the same effort that you're looking to get in reciprocation. So reciprocity is a big aspect of that as well. But for me, like, I can pick up on conversations or whatever the case is, if your expectation is not meeting the same amount of effort that you're putting forth, or your ideas and thoughts and ideals don't match with what you're trying to get out of the situation.
Okay. And then if you can break that down more in layman terms. So in the experience when you're dating, are you finding that, is it, you know, you want something and that person is either their words and their actions are saying something different? Where do you feel the disconnect is happening when you are dating?
So I'll use one example. Like, I was dating one individual and they were like, I'm not trying to be in a serious relationship. I'm not really trying to move towards a serious relationship, but I want to know where this is going. It's like, if you're not caring about where this is going and you're just trying to figure things out because you just got out of a toxic relationship, why are you asking this question when you're still trying to learn me and I'm still trying to learn you? Your expectation isn't meeting your reality. Now, I can see, dealing with that person, I know where that came from, we had some deep conversations about what they had been through and where they were currently at. But it's like that insecure part of you is still reaching for something that you're not even ready to obtain right now.
Sure. I can see that. Okay. So as far as, you know, when you're dating someone, when you're going into something like that, are you saying, or do you start off, I'm just going with the flow and to get to know that person? Or are you letting that person, this is what I expect, or this is what I want, or how does that work out for you?
Now me, I'm a little different. I don't create an expectation when going into dating because I don't know you. It's kind of hard to expect of something. If I'm going in with an expectation, that means I'm coming into the situation with a bias. And I want to be unbiased in my opportunity to learn who you are as an individual. I want to give you the opportunity to be vulnerable and authentic with me. And I can't do that if I'm approaching you with the lens of meeting my expectation. So I don't have an expectation. My only expectation is to learn you for who you are and sift from there what boundaries I need to place among this situation, this interaction, this relationship, whatever it's going to be. I don't come in with a preconceived notion of what I want because that's me being selfish.
Okay, I have a question for the ladies, Jen, myself, and Fashion. Okay, you hear what the guy, well, one of the guys is saying, do you feel as ladies, because what he's saying, I know in my mind is triggering, do you know what you want? Right? So as a woman, of course, every man that I meet, I'm not expecting that it's going to be a match made in heaven. But I also know that I'm going to date because I know where I'm trying to go. I want to date, relationship, engagement, married, babies, all that good stuff, you know? So ladies, are you also having those thoughts when you're dating? Or are you going with the flow or kind of just going in it with the unbiased, just like Darius said, when you're dating? Jen?
When I meet someone, I don't necessarily go in with the mindset of, I want to date this person. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know the person when I first meet them. You will have to prove to me that you are worthy enough for my time, you know, to date me. So I go in with the mindset of, okay, we're just friends, you know, first. And if it leads to us being in a relationship, that's fine, you know. But I don't want to force nothing, you know.
Yeah.
If we choose to go our separate ways, then we rode the wave till it came to an end, you know. But I don't go into if I'm dating someone, my first mindset is like, oh, okay, I'm gonna date this person. I want to date this person. I'm going to be with this person. No, like I truly do want to know who you are, you know. So there might be too many red flags for me to the point where it's like, okay, I want to just keep this person in a friend zone, you know?
Yeah.
So no.
So okay, Fashion, Devin, Dame, what is your take on that?
I think that like I said, I've been single for 2.5 years, and anybody who know me personally, they know I have battled with it. Because I'm a relationship kind of girl. And I think that I wanted to date and I want to date now, you know, but also I battle with, am I actually really ready mentally, emotionally, and physically, you know? Because I don't want to be a penny looking for a dime, you know? So, and I have to make sure that my traumas and my baggage and all of my things are in line, you know? So I just try to be the energy that I want reciprocated back to myself. So that has been my battle, you know, with the whole dating thing. So for this time that I've been single, I have really struggled and tried to just heal my inner child and heal myself, you know, so that I can be, you know, so I could be the person that I want to meet. So when you want a healing journey, it's up and down. It's a roller coaster for me.
Right. But it sounds like definitely you're doing the right thing to make sure that what you want, you're being yourself.
The best I can. Yes.
Yes.
Real quick, Fashion, I want to give you your flowers for that.
Oh,
because
thank you.
a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't realize how important it is to work on themselves to get the thing that they're trying to acquire. So the fact that you're like, this is what I want ego-wise. My feelings want this, but I got a lot of other stuff that I got to work on personally. It's a great approach, and continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
For sure. Definitely when dating, I also notice that people date with the intention that someone else is going to make them happy, but you have to be happy and whole within yourself before you can, even remotely be happy with someone else.
True.
All right. Jen, tell us. I know you just finished talking, but we talk all the time, y'all. That's my best friend. Well, one of them. Hello.
Hi.
What is a red flag for you? I know we talk a lot and there's different things, but what would you say is your number one red flag?
One of my number one red flags in the first 90 days when I'm getting to know someone is if that person is constantly talking about their ex. Every conversation that we have, you bring your ex up. I get it. We tend to bring up our past relationships. That just what humans do. You're looking for. You're trying not to make the same mistake that you made in the last relationship and this new, situation that you might go forward with. So we tend to talk about the relationship. But if you constantly keep bringing it up every time, and that's the only topic that we ever talk about, it's kind of like, when are you making time to get to know me? When are you making time for me to get to know you? So that's a major red flag, because I feel as if you're not ready to move forward with getting to know somebody new, because I feel as if you're still stuck with this person. You know what I'm saying? You have to, like Fashion said, somewhat on the topic, you have to heal yourself. In order for you to move forward or get to know somebody else, you have to make time for yourself. You have to heal yourself as an individual, before you get to try to know somebody else. If you're not happy with yourself, how you expect somebody to make you happy? Or you get to try to get to know somebody else. So that is like a major red flag for me.
I definitely, because y'all last night, y'all know I was going in, I couldn't sleep. I was putting notes together for this conversation, but there's two things that I want to point out when talking about exes. Are they talking about them like always bringing them up in the positive way as if they're comparing y'all, or are you talking about this ex in a negative light? So which one do you feel is the red flag? Or for me, I would say both. But what do you feel in your own personal experience? Like, bruh, if you talk about it one more time, is it the negative comments or?
Yeah, I would say both, but I will more so lean towards the negative comments. Only for the simple fact, I'm about to tell you why.
Yes, please.
If you're giving out so much negative from this woman, or if you're feeding me so much negativity that happened between you and this woman, I feel like that's all you took from the relationship is negativity. If I ain't hear nothing good about this relationship, what made you continue to stay in that relationship with that person? You know what I'm saying? What kept you in that relationship? So you're trying to say the whole time y'all was in a relationship, it wasn't nothing negative. I mean, it wasn't nothing positive. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as if you love that person, let me hear something positive, because if you're talking to me, it's the only thing that you're looking at me is the only thing you're picking out is negativity from everything I do. I might do so much good in a relationship, but the only thing you notice and the only thing you run away with is the negative that I put into the relationship. So that's kind of like a red flag to me, because I know me as a person and as an individual, I'm a good-hearted person, and I do so much in a relationship. So it's like I don't want to be reminded only for that, know?
Right.
So yeah.
I think sometimes if they're always talking about the negative, it's like the victim mindset. Like everything is always happening so bad to me. Then it's like, no, bro, or lady, what did you do wrong in this relationship? Don't try to paint the pictures as if the other person was also bad and you were just the victim and you just a lowly peasant and been
I
done
wrote that
wrong.
down. I never talk about never take personal accountability.
Yes, for sure. Anybody want to chime in on that?
No, I don't agreements because that's like one of my other ones. Your capacity to accept accountability. Like I can understand if you talk about your ex because you're in a fear-based mindset. Like I've been through this, I'm trying to process it, and I'm just trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. But you can accept some accountability for where I may have messed up or what I could have done differently to get out of this situation, keep myself from having this bad experience. But if you in the victim mindset, more times than not, I'm not trying to be in a relationship with a victim. I don't mind if you're a survivor. You can be a survivor, which means you overcame this situation. But I'm not. I don't want to be in a relationship with no victim because you're gonna pass that. You're gonna bring that in a relationship, and Lord forbid I miss all the red flags and we get married and have kids. Now I said to my kid, and my point as a father, I ain't strong kids. I'm not raising no victims. So that's it's a toxic mindset. But I think that kind of goes back to what Fashion was saying as far as learning how to heal your own and being introspective. Like realize, damn, I don't never take accountability for none of my shit. Like it's always it's you. It's
right.
It's okay. Like it's you. Like that meme of the dude looking in the mirror. Like it's you. It's okay to understand that and work on that and be accountable to that.
Right. Yeah, I wrote that down as one of my red flags. You know, someone that's not taking accountability. You know.
Devin.
Yes, Miss Carter.
Any experience in this area?
Of course.
Let me hear
it. I think everyone has great points. Me personally, I think if you are in that space where you are, overcoming or you're working through some things, it's best to just not even date. Period. For me, I've been single since December, but 2020 just wiped me out mentally and spiritually, just with everything that happened in my life. So right now I'm giving space to myself to grow. And for the last 6 months, I have been going to therapy. I got a new job, just moved back to LA. So I'm doing things, I'm meditating every single day. I'm praying, I'm getting in my Bible. So there's things that I'm doing to repair my mental health, my spiritual health, my physical health, before I even bring that baggage. For me, I don't even want to have any baggage when I go to a relationship. All right, it's a start. It's a clean slate. It's a clean chapter.
Right.
All right, you don't have to worry about what happened with my exes because I took the time necessary. I put in the work to overcome that and to grow and to be a better man. So for me, I just feel like you shouldn't date. If you are in that space, if you're trying to overcome something, then stay in your lane and mind your business and work on yourself so you don't have to drag someone else into that.
Right.
No, for sure. Definitely everyone has had beautiful points. But in this time, I want to do a little mini break. I want everyone to go through, say your handle on Instagram. I'll start, and then we'll move on to the right. I know everybody's screens are different, but I am your girl, K Carter, here with Pillow Talk. You can follow me on Instagram at KDOTT Carter. Devin.
All right, Devin Brown here, live and direct. You can find me on IG at All World Dev, and hit me up. I'm cool.
Darius.
King Carter, K11NGCARTER.
Jen.
Jen Rose. You guys can find me on Instagram at Hair Play Extensions. Yeah.
All right. Fashion.
Fashion. My Instagram is @_TheRealFashionW. It's inactive right now, but when I do get back on Instagram, that's it.
Holla at your girl. Dang.
Sorry, I was muted. Dame at one Dame. Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Awesome. All right. So Pillow Talk is where real and intimate conversations take place. So usually I am doing my recordings in the bed, but I am traveling, y'all. I'm in California right now, but I live in Houston. But your girl came through with her pajamas. Hold on.
Okay.
Y'all see me? I got the floral popping today. I see some of my other guests are in their pajamas. Strut your stuff. Let me see what you got on. Fashion. I see Fashion real comfortable with the pillow talk with her wine.
I was trying to
Fashion.
come with the theme, you know, these are my pajamas, a little silk, you know, got it at Target, you know.
Okay. Girl, I got mine from Marshall's. Marshall's Target be hooking it up. Do you hear me?
Right.
What wine you drinking? Is that red?
This is it is red wine. It's sweet, but it's Roscato. This is my favorite red wine.
Yes, get you right. Hello. I
Hello.
usually would drink. I went wine tasting today, y'all. So my mind, I needed to be focused. I didn't want to be too tipsy or buzzed on here. So I'm drinking me some lemon water on today. All right.
Spring water only.
Right. Okay. So, okay, we'll move right along. That was a good little razzle dazzle. So I'm going. All right. So I'm going to move right along with another red flag when dating. And some of you might have some experiences. So again, I'm single. I am 31. I'll be 32. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's cancer season, y'all. All right. So I'm growing up in this world and I don't have any children, right? But a red flag for me is dating someone that has children and they're unable to balance their parental relationship along with their relationship that they're trying to cultivate, which again, I understand you have a child, but is everything that you do on the back burner? And I'm like, the second thought? I don't know. What do y'all think about that?
I think I'm gonna speak on this because I have one child, but I'm raising two.
Yes.
And I can see where a guy that could be a struggle, especially if the guy is a single parent, you know, because that do exist. It's a lot. It's a lot, you know, having a child and trying to juggle a social life. You know, maybe you haven't found the balance yet.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to find a balance of two. Like my child is 3 and you know my nephew is 9 months and I'm still trying to balance. How do I balance being a parent and how do I balance, you know, having a social life, being in a relationship? So I think that's one of the main reasons that my situation is complicated because it's like I'm on the fence. Like, you know, I'm still trying to figure out how do I do the two.
Do you feel like you don't have the time?
I do. I feel like I don't have the time, only for the simple fact that not only am I raising 2 kids, I'm also in the midst of trying to grow a business as well, you know, by myself. So I'm growing 3 different things, you know, a business and 2 small children, you know, by myself. So and I just only my situation. I'm not speaking for whoever the guy's situation that you're dealing with or whoever's dealing with at the time. So it could be a challenge, you know, and maybe that person probably just needs somebody that's there and just calm them down. Like, hey, it's okay. You know, I'm here for you. I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes us as human beings, we need that. Like, you know, like, what do you want me to do? You know, because maybe that person been raising his child by himself or, you know, for a while now, you know, and so it's kind of like that's all they know, you know. So when you come into that person, like if that's all that person knows, so you're coming to that person's life, maybe you come into that person's life, you know, head on. So it's like you're not coming to a person like gradually. So maybe he's like having difficulties, you know, incorporating you into his life now.
Okay. Thing. All right. So I have not experienced this, but of course, everything that I'm saying, I've done some research and talked to other people that's experienced these situations. So let's say that there's a young lady and she's dating a guy that has a kid that's grown. Okay. This kid is grown and they've been in, let's say, a relationship, let's say 3-4 years. And this gentleman buys his kid a Mercedes CLA. Okay. But when they go out, if they're driving in her car, they pull up to the gas station and he does not get out to pump her gas. So I'm saying that to say it's like the man is doing everything for, to cater to the daughter, but in his relationship, it's like you're falling short. You're not doing certain things for your significant other. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Or does it not making sense?
Yeah, maybe they just don't know, Kenesha. Maybe I think most people, you have to. I mean, if you don't, which is my red flag. So I'll get into it when I mention my red flag. But I think some people, most people don't know. Like they don't know how to. There's men out there who don't know how to treat women. There's women out there who don't know how to respect men. So it's not, and it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's not their fault to a point. It's not their fault. Oftentimes, some of these things creep up. When you're in your childhood. You know what I'm saying? How are you raised? What's your environment like? Because everybody is different. Everybody was raised different. Everybody was raised with different values, different standards, different beliefs. A red flag to me may not be a red flag to someone else. So, right. But at the same time, like, there are general things that people want, people desire, and people need. And that onus falls on you as a man or a woman when you want to date. At least cover the basic things, like opening doors. Some men don't know, like when you're walking on a sidewalk, the man's supposed to walk closest to the street.
Let's talk about it. Why?
All right.
Okay, we don't even have to go into that why. But finish.
I mean, it's just simple things. Just, again, like these are learned behaviors. These aren't things that we're born with. So right. We have to learn how to, a man has to learn how to be a gentleman, but he also has to, learn other things too, being a man. Machiavelli has a great quote in his book, The Prince. And this is not, it's not perfect. I'm not, quoting verbatim, but essentially he was saying that a man needs to learn how to be good and bad. So he knows what bad looks like, so he can protect his family, he can protect himself. All right, that doesn't mean that he needs to be bad, he just needs to know what it looks like. Right. So I think a lot of people just don't know what that looks like. They don't know how to act, they don't know how to behave, they don't know what's right or wrong, and it's not their fault.
Okay, awesome. Darius and Dane, so have you ever been in a situation when you're dating a woman and you feel like you're on the back burner when it comes to her children? Or what are your thoughts in general with even dating someone that has children?
So I have dated in the past. I have dated people with multiple children. I don't create the expectation of me being first. I'm not a necessity. I'm not a priority. Your kids are. Our interaction is a choice. So you need to take care of them. I don't need you to take care of me. We're still getting to know each other and understand each other. So that's something you created. Although I didn't help you create it, you're obligated to raise that individual until they're able to take care of themselves. So it would be selfish of me to come in here and think that I should take top billing, regardless of what the situation is. Even if we get married, that's still your child. So take care of your child, and I'm agreeing to come in here and help you take care of your child until they're able to take care of themselves, or at least mirror some sort of responsibility. Personally, I would prefer not to date somebody with kids. That's just because I've always wanted my child to be their first child as well. Now, me coming from a single parent household, I understand, and I've had this conversation with my mom. She gets a little triggered when I say it, but I would just prefer not to. I don't judge people. Obviously, like I said, I've dated people who have had multiple kids, and I didn't hold that against them. But I would prefer to not be serious with somebody that has a child or multiple children. One child, I might be able, especially as you get up in age. I'll be 35 this year, so you know, it might be a little bit rare within our age range.
Yes.
Somebody that doesn't have kids. It's out there, most definitely, but it's a little bit harder to find. But one kid I can shake the fence on. Multiple kids is like, I don't want to hold that against you. So I'm still, you know, I'm be unbiased in the situation, but
then it's slim.
Gotta make a note of that. And it's going to give me a lot more to assess, to be honest. Not just to assess, because originally I'm assessing you as an individual. I'm assessing the situation. Now I also have to assess who you are as a parent and what type of morals that you're instilling in your children. Because like I said, if I did go against that and I'm with somebody that has multiple children, what you're teaching your children is what you're going to teach my child. So if I don't even
I think dating people with children is kind of like a cheat code. Like, I'm seeing how you treat your kids. So if you're not a good parent with the one that you already have, I don't care how much you don't get along with the parent, the mother, of course, in my situation. But how are you treating your baby's mother? And regardless of, if y'all falling out, are you still making time for that child? Because I can't stand for someone to make an excuse. I didn't see my kid today on her birthday because the mama, like, child is that just tears me up inside, and I can't do it. Like somebody was like, well, what happened? One day I asked you how your kids was doing. You was like, oh, they good. You live in a whole nother state and your kids is in a whole nother state. And I never hear you talk about your kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you ever have your kids? Hello? Y'all, and that really bugged me. And you talking about how in love you are with me. That's not going to work, bro.
Add that to the red flag, girl.
You're probably a sucky parent at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm running for the hills.
Add that to the red flag.
Okay. So just a little synopsis about myself. I was in a 7.5-year relationship.
Yeah. With
a man. We didn't have any children. When we had our first child, our daughter turned 6 months and the relationship ended. The relationship ended. There were some deficiencies on each end. And, but to be a first-time mom with somebody you've just been with for all these years, and now you have a 6-month-old child and you're raising them by yourself, it's kind of like hard, So me, I could never date a man with a small child. I just couldn't do it. And I say that because it's just like that child still requires, your question was originally, what if they put in the children first and the relationship is on the back end? But what if the relationship with the child is on the back end and the relationship is on the front end of everything? And the relationship dictates how you are with your child, or how much time you spend with your child, or what you do with your child, what you are allowed and not allowed to do with your child. And that's a little bit of my situation. We got out of this long-term relationship. We got this 6-month-old baby. That's still a new baby, you know? And now you're in a full-blown relationship, and it's just like, now you're parenting our child the way someone else feels like you should parent. And it's just like, I don't agree to that. And me as a woman, I could never, ever be with a man who, like you said, where's your child at? Like, all these houses, where's your child? Because I want to know, where's your child? And it's funny because even now, and I promise to God, like I said, I'm trying to get myself together. I even pray for me to have a good man. And what I add in my prayer is that if this man has children, that the mother of his children is healed, and both of them are ready to move on with their lives.
Yes.
So that way we can all come together if it gets to this point. And I'm saying it, if it's at this point, that we all can come together and raise these children, because honestly, at the end of the day, we all have to raise these children.
Mm-hmm.
So if I see that somebody is not on good terms with their baby mother or their baby father, I want to stay away from that. I don't care how old your kid is. I want to stay away from that, because in the event I have a child with you and it don't work out, what makes me think I'm any different?
Okay. Yeah, there's people that's crazy and will think I'm the special one. I'm the exception to the rule. But
I'm trying to tell you,
if somebody has multiple baby mamas at that or baby daddies, you can kind of the proof is in the pudding at that point. But also, I do think, and I don't want to say this to be like biased. I don't have any children, but I do see that men are able to date more freely and have a little more time because the kids are predominantly most of the time with the mothers. So I think a lot of time it's harder for them to date and have the time to do so. But of course,
it absolutely is. And I'll say this because again, I've been single again for 2.5 years. So a part of me being single is because me and my child father, we alternate weekends. Mm-hmm. So honestly, and the person or whoever I deal with, in whatever manner I deal with them, they know I'm only available every other weekend. And that's probably why I haven't to dating serious with anyone, because that's not fair. But those are the conditions right now. You know, so that's why I don't allow myself to get that serious with anyone, and I don't allow them. But again, this goes back to the honesty. I'm very honest in the beginning, like, you know, I can't hang out with you if I have my child. I'm only available and I'm only free every other weekend. And that's not fair to some people, but you have the option to make that decision for yourself. I'm not making that decision for you or forcing you into that decision.
For sure. I definitely think it's fair that it's every other weekend because that still gives you a chance to have time for yourself. And like you said, the other person needs to choose on if that's a make or break.
If that works for them. Right.
Right. Dame, are you dating anyone with children, or do you have any experience along these lines?
I've never really dealt with a girl with children. Not saying that I won't, but you know, as men, that's just hard, you know, because that's us taking on the responsibility of another man, you know, and it's also, can you hear me? I don't know if you guys, okay. And it's also just like, it's just my mindset could be different from how that man wants to raise his, you know, wants his kid to be raised. And it's just hard. It'll be hard, you know. But in the case that I do date a girl with a kid, she would just have to be willing to allow me to lead her and her child. You know what I mean? You know, because women have their own rules, and, you know, you're dating me, but my child is off limits. Like, you can't discipline my child. You can't talk to my child if they do something wrong. Like, and that's just not a good deal to me, because it's like, you know, we're a family now. And if I'm going to date you, then I'm here for your child too, you know? So it'll just be,
it's a sticky situation, you're saying.
Yeah. It is. It really is.
If you have a daughter, you know, I think it's a little different if you have a son and if you have a daughter, you know. So it's really a difficult situation. I agree with Damien.
Well, thank you everyone for, you know, tapping in on that red flag. Devin, I know you said earlier there was something that you wanted to share that was your red flag.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not a hard and fast rule for me. It's very fluid, just given the individual. So I wouldn't call this like a hard red flag, but it definitely I monitor it over time, and that's how is a woman's relationship specifically to their father. And this works the other way as well. Like, what is their how is a man's relationship to his mother? Because that'll give you an insight on how that person will treat you. And again, I can't speak for everyone's experience, but just from my own alone. And oftentimes the women that I did date, they had a really solid relationship with their father. And I'm not saying that they're like kicking it every weekend or every day. They're just on speaking terms with their father. They have a healthy, solid relationship with their father. Oftentimes I got a different level of respect because their father as a child or as a, you know, as a kid showed them how to respect or showed them, you know, what to do, you know. And again, like all fathers aren't created equal. I'm sure that there's women who got, you know, relationships with their fathers and he's, you know, he's a POS. So I mean, so it again, like it's not a hard and fast rule for me, but I do pay attention to that, and that is extremely important. Is where are you? Where do you stand with your father? You know, because again, like I've been in relationships with on both sides, and the relationships I had the most problems in was the women who did not have a solid relationship with their father, and you had to deal with different level of disrespect, some oftentimes dependency. You know, we hear like, you know, daddy issues and all those things. I think there's a level of truth to that. There's a kernel of truth to that. Oftentimes women who have a good relationship with their father tend to be a little more mature in terms of how they live their life, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? If you have a man who hates his mother, best believe, you know, there's going to be something there that is going to rub you the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't know how to respect. They don't know what that looks like. And again, like I said earlier, it's not their fault. You know what I'm saying? We don't pick our parents, and we don't choose how we're raised. You know, we're at the mercy of these adults. And if these adults act like children themselves, or they're narcissists, or they're dealing with their own mental health issues, then you're at a huge disadvantage growing up. So for me, it's where do you lay with your parents? Like where your relationship is with your parents.
Sure.
Yeah, and again, the best relationships I had with the women that I'm still friends with now are the ones who had a solid relationship with their father.
Does anyone want to add to that as far as that being a red flag or something that you actually pay attention to when you're dating someone, the relationship that they're having with their mother or father?
I'll add into it. I'll say, I know stereotypically we tend to look at like the opposite genders, like how the woman has a relationship with her father and how the son has a relationship with his mother. But I'll say relationship with your parents in general. I've dated women that had daddy issues, and I've dated women that had great relationships with their dad, but had mom issues. Like I think just the environment that you're raised in general is going to be shaped by your parents, and how you respond to that is also going to contribute to that. So what's your relationship like with your parents in general, whether they separated or not, same household or not, because that's also going to let me know how you'll treat your relationships with other people. Your relationship with your parents is supposed to be one of the strongest bonds that you ever have in your life. Nobody else can be closer to you than somebody that gave you life. And if you can't even nurture that relationship, or you'd have no willingness to, or you have, like you said, the victim mentality, something that we talked about earlier, or you're avoidant, or whatever the case is, if you have a tumultuous relationship with your parents in general, that lets me know that when you come into this situation, no matter how serious it is, you're going to bring that same mindset over here.
Big facts.
That's something to pay attention to. It's kind of like with the kids situation, like how you have a relationship with the parent's father or mother. I get to see how you interact with all these close-knit relationships that you have in your life. So if I see that you can't nurture that one, which is supposed to be at the tippy, you don't even pay attention to bettering that or nurturing that, you're not going to nurture this over here either. So I can't create that expectation of you two. That's something you got to work on yourselves.
Can I follow up to that point, Darius? I think you make excellent points, and I totally agree with you. As far as with me, like women, I mean, I think women they're a lot more, I'm not going to say petty, but I think like for me, I give women,
what you say.
I'm saying, I think, I mean, you and your mother, daughter, I think there's, I mean, you know what I'm saying? There could be, I don't want to say petty, that's not the right word. I'm saying that there could be a little more friction than, say, a woman has a relationship with their father. I think women always kind of have a certain level of friction between them, just like a father would have friction with their son. But you know, as you know, for me, you know, I leaned on my mother every time I got into it with my father. So that's where I get like I mostly key in on the relationship with their father, because you usually get a little more rope with the opposite sex. I mean, with the opposite parent. So, but I totally agree with what Darius says. I think there should be a level. There should be equal weight to both.
Ladies, do you even pay attention to that when you're dating? Jen?
Yeah, I pay attention to it, but I don't want to tap in on that topic. So.
Okay.
Just personal reason.
Gotcha.
I just want to listen to the man.
No problem. Fashion?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's something to look at, you know, but even still, you can have a great relationship and you still don't treat women, or, you know, my ex had a great relationship with his mother, you know, but so, I mean, not just that mother or that father relationship. I just want to know who you are as a person and how you treat everybody, your friends, everybody, you know. So I choose to look in, I choose to pay attention on that, because I feel like, honestly, at the end of the day, we all have parent issues, whether it's with our mom, whether it's with our dad, whether it's with our grandmother, our siblings. We all have some type of relationship issues. You know, you can stay in the house with both of your parents and not even like them, or not even, you know. So I just, again, like Jenny said, I just rather, you know, not really have too much to say on that, but that is something that I do look at.
Got it. All right, so we're gonna finish off. There's one last thing. We have been on for about an hour now, and I don't want to keep everyone. I want to respect everyone's time. So the last thing, we'll kind of finish off on a very easy note. Red flag. How do you feel when you're dating someone and their use of social media is excessive? How do you handle that? I'm going to start off by saying I had an experience, had a boyfriend. We're kicking it, hanging out. And I'm like, babe, I like quality time. So I'm like, want to watch this movie. I'm like, I want to play charades. I'm like, let's have fun together. But dun, 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 I need some music playing around here. When we're sitting on the couch, I don't think our quality time, because we're sitting next to each other, is quality time. And you're scrolling for 2 hours on, may it be Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. That is annoying to me. I don't know about anybody else, but it bothers me, because I feel like I don't have your undivided attention. Not that I need it all the time, but if we're sitting down and saying this is the time that we're going to spend with each other, why are you constantly on social media? Anyone wants to chime on that?
I'll say, me being newly, I just got an Instagram 6 months in December, the end of December, and I'm on and off that thing because I don't know. I love Facebook. But I just feel like social media I just feel like it takes social media, and I'm talking about this personally. Social media not only takes you out of your relationship with your partner, it takes you away from your potential. It takes you away from your children. It takes you away from a lot of things. It takes you from your productivity. So
productivity.
If I'm going to be dating with somebody, if I'm going to be dating someone, social media, I'm not saying you can't have your social media, you know, but it can't run your life. We can't wake up in the morning, as soon as you roll over, you scrolling on your phone. Like I can't do that. Like, because I even found that's why I got off of it, because I found myself being like drawn into it a lot more than I really should have been. And it's just, I don't know. I would hope that with whoever I'm dealing with, that social media is not the forefront of their entertainment, their being, or whatever. So I think it kills relationships, all relationships.
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
Or it can enhance it. It depends on where you are in the stage of the relationship. Social media isn't going anywhere. I mean, the older we get, I mean, it's gonna stay. So it's a mainstay. It's mainstream in society. You can't run after. We can't hide from it. You know, half the population on planet Earth has a social media account. So how can you, like, let's just say you're in a relationship for 6 months, or you're in a relationship for 3 months, all right, and social media isn't a big deal. How come you guys can't do social media content together? Like, why does it have to divide you? It could, you can very well bring it together. I mean, I know I have, friends who have families, and they bring all of their kids, they bring their husband, their cousins into social media. I know
that's definitely over time. But when you're, of course, even I'm saying when I'm in a relationship, I don't really pay attention too much in the first 90 days. But like Fashion said, don't allow it to rule your life. We're not saying do away with social media, like you can't have it. But I am kind of watching like how often you're, using social media. And let me be clear that there are creators, there are people that's trying to get specific content that's out there. So they do have to engage with their audience and probably post a little more. But like myself, personally, I put things, but I'm not constantly in my DMs responding to every person that sends me a message. I think that's excessive. And if it's a person that feels that they have to do that, why do you feel like you have to do that? Just like every compliment you're going to get, you're not going to be like, oh yeah, you want me? No, thank you. Okay, and keep it moving.
Okay. So Nisha, Fashion, I have a question. I'm going to give you a scenario. You guys, you go on a date, all right, and you're out on a date with a guy, all right. He's at the table, and he pulls out his phone and he starts checking his social media. All right, now let's say he does it one time, all right, and you're like, all right, whatever. Then he does it again, let's say 10 minutes later. All right, what is your thought process with that, and how do you go about just expressing, a displeasure of someone using or being on their phone on a date? Like, how do you guys go about that? I'm curious.
I'm definitely paying attention. I definitely don't say when I'm bothered about something as quick. I'll just try to see if this is a consistent pattern. But I also need to know what is the person doing, like what is their line of business. This person might really need to be checking emails or make whatever they're doing, their job might require that. Now, if it seems to be something like am I boring you? If I feel like you keep grabbing your phone, because if I'm on a date, again, I want to give you my undivided attention and not seem preoccupied by something else, like my phone. So yeah, I probably wouldn't say anything unless I'm getting to know that that person a little more, where I feel comfortable to say, hey, that's kind of bothering me. But if it's the first, second date, I'm just taking note. And then if it's something consistent, then do away with him.
Like Kenesha said, if it's just in the beginning, I'm not gonna bring, if we're on a date, like, especially if we're out to eat or we're doing something intimate, it's kind of like, I'm not even bringing my phone out, so right there, I'm setting the tone that I'm not doing that. So I'm setting the respect factor. And it's just like, say if you do check your phone, or I see your, if somebody's checking an email, or if somebody's thumb is just going up, so I wouldn't say anything in the beginning, but I probably wouldn't take it. It wouldn't really go anywhere because at this moment I'm getting to know you, and the present is a gift, and you're missing it.
That part. Yes, the present is a gift.
And you're missing it. So clearly we're not on the same frequency. So yeah, let's just enjoy this meal because that's probably it.
Guys, anybody wants to chime in on that?
I'll say more than anything, not necessarily the amount, pay attention to the intention behind it. Like you said, there's creators, there's all types of people that, you know, what you're trying to accomplish may require you to be on there a little bit more than others. So when you're on there, what is your intention for being on it? What are you trying to accomplish? Now, what I will say is, you know, shout out to Dev because he's mentioned mental health and therapy and things of that nature. Of course, I'm biased when it comes to this topic.
Why are you biased? Tell them. Tell them.
I mean, I'm a therapist, so of course that's super important to me. Like mental health is something that this is what I live day to day. But I bring that up to say we as a society don't realize how addicted we are to social media. So yeah, you can look at it from a personal ego standpoint. You're not giving me the attention I need because you're on social media, but we're not realizing this person may have an addiction. People filming their food at the table. People feel like they have to put on their story or their IG or their Facebook the moment that we're supposed to be sharing with, not just on a date, but friends, family, by ourselves. I'm out here on a hike in nature. Why are you filming it? Enjoy the nature. Like this is your time to enjoy your peace of mind. But your ego is going to be triggered by their behavior, but you also have to step back and say, all right, they may have an issue with an addiction to social media, the intention behind it. Let me pay attention to that and help them instead of getting triggered by it and saying, excuse me, I have an issue with you. Hey, why are you on there so much? Help me understand what your relationship to social media is. Maybe if you're struggling with social media, let's include this situation since you feel like you have to be on there. Let's document it to help you kill two birds with one stone. I'm in here with you and I'm helping you do it, but we can also manage it together and decrease it. If I want to be in a relationship with you, I have to help you with your faults as opposed to getting triggered by your faults and saying, not good enough for me. Like, no, if I want to get to know you, that includes the negatives as well. So what's your intention behind being on this thing? Let me understand what the relationship is so I can see, are you just bored? Are you ignoring me? Or is it just that you need help with being able to put this to the side? And I can understand that that's something that you struggle with.
But can I say this? Us in our 30s is just like, at this point in time, it's like, do I really have extra time to help you with your social media addiction? Like, you know, it's just like the clock, especially for women, like, you know, because men can always go out and get a younger woman or get a, you know, but women, it's just like, do I really have I don't have, the clock is ticking for me. Like, you know, I can't help you with this.
The clock is ticking for everybody. That's a common misconception that we have, that like women have this internal clock. Men do too. Men can date in a different pool, but we have erectile dysfunction and things like that as we get older. Like women, I can't produce good eggs. I can't produce good sperm. Like our bodies are both deteriorating as we age at the same time. So I can choose to date outside my pool, but a man is still going to have some physical struggles just like a woman, depending on how they're taking care of themselves. Now, I will say this when it comes to a relationship, if you don't have the time to pay attention to be assisting towards somebody in the beginning, they can't expect you to do that when you're in a serious relationship either. So if you don't have the time to do it now, you ain't gonna never have the time to do it. And I can't expect you to. So what's the point of us being here? Because you're not marrying a perfect person.
But
all
my
of us are imperfect.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. But my point is, when you see that in the beginning, it's kind of like for me, if I see that in the beginning, I'm just gonna just let it go. And maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I'll be on
you draw that boundary, which is completely fine for everybody to draw their own boundaries, but communicate that. That's where the translation gets lost sometimes. We don't communicate our boundaries. We just create the expectation of our boundaries. And when somebody doesn't meet them, let me do it.
But that's where the honesty comes in. Right, but that's where the honesty comes in.
That's where the honesty comes in. More so than honesty, I'll say, kind of like what you brought up earlier. I wanted to chime in, but this ain't my show, so I ain't trying to take it over. But vulnerability is more important than honesty.
Yeah.
You have to be vulnerable. And in that moment, that person is showing you something that they could be vulnerable with. Now you have a choice of, do I want to meet them in their vulnerability and sit with them? Or do I want to shun them because of their vulnerability? That's the ability for you to show them if you're going to be a good partner or not. You struggle with this? Let's talk about it. I understand. I'll let you know how it makes me feel, but I'm gonna sit here with you and we can work on that now. If you ain't putting forth no effort to improving that after I've addressed it, then chunk up the deuce and go about your business. But give that leeway to improve on it first before you create that expectation and get triggered by it and say, nah, this ain't for me.
I got a quick follow-up question for Darius on just being vulnerable. And as far as showing your vulnerability, at what stage do you do that? Because sometimes in my experience, I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been vulnerable early with someone, and then they essentially just took everything that I shared with them and threw it in my face, like a couple months later. And then I've been on the other side where I was closed off. I wasn't vulnerable, and that killed a relationship. So at what point are you vulnerable? Is that within a month? Is that a couple weeks? Is that 3 months? Like, could you share more just information on that?
So I'll say this. The problem with a lot of us is we deal in the life of absolutes, and nothing is absolute. Like, what time frame should I? It ain't no time frame. Be vulnerable from jump. One thing that's constant throughout your entire relationship with anybody, whether it's a personal relationship, a friendship, a work relationship, a romantic relationship, is that you cannot control them and their decisions. I can barely influence them. I can't control what you do with whatever information or experience we have. So I'm going to be vulnerable from jump, because that gives me the opportunity to see how you're going to respond to it. If it gets thrown back in my face, that's just me finding out quicker that you ain't the person I need to deal with. Yes. What am I learning from this situation? That's how I'm approaching every interaction I have. What can I learn from it? I'd rather learn sooner than later. So I'm going to be vulnerable from jump. If you burn me with it, then, oh, well, I got burned. That burns go heal, but I get you. Your ass won't be here to burn me again.
Okay. That part. Listen, I think at this point in our 30s, you've been there, done that. So you determine, where are you comfortable? Are you comfortable with saying it in the beginning, waiting a little longer, but whatever you're comfortable with? If you feeling like you're gritting your teeth, like, dang, should I tell that person that? Maybe that's too soon. Or, find a middle ground. And by this time, all of us here are in our 30s. We should be able to know where it is that we lie, to be comfortable to share pieces of ourselves with another individual. The topic is 90-day rule. Everything that we've discussed, you might have that. I might, like me in fashion. It might be the social media thing. I'm like, oh, that bothers me. But I'm not going to throw you away just because that one thing. But if that one thing is included with you disrespectful to other people, or, other things are imbalanced, I'm the same. Like, I don't want to put too much time into a place where I feel like everything that you're doing, it does not sit well with my spirit. And I'm not going to put that time in. And so I might just go ahead and move on. I might not have the time to invest in you, where, you know what I'm saying? I might not just have the time. So 3 strikes and you're out, buddy. Well, thank you everyone for chiming in. Is there any last comments that anyone wants to share, or any nuggets that you want to share about this topic?
I do.
Go ahead, Devin.
Kenesha, I think you need to bring us all back for another episode of Green Flags, because I think that's.
Say it again.
I think you need to bring back this entire panel so we can discuss green flags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great job.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
That will be a good one. Yeah. What's turning me on? Okay, we gonna get it on pillow time. Y'all don't know my personality. I'm a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but if you don't know, now you know, or you're learning, okay? Anyone else wants to share any last nuggets?
I just appreciated everybody's perspective. I just appreciated everybody's, feedback, because a lot of the times we do, whether we want to or not, we look at things one-sided. And me being a woman, I look at it from my point of view, you know, and we don't really, and usually the men that's in our life, whether regardless the relationship, they probably give us information on a biased standpoint, you know, but versus this complete strangers, and I was able to take something away from what everybody said.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the show. I'm glad that you invited me to be on.
Thank you. Likewise, Nish. It was amazing.
Darius, you want to share a nugget?
Oh, I was kind of what Fasha was saying. I think this gives people the opportunity to see we're a lot more alike than we are different. Because the men ain't shit and the women ain't shit narrative that's a whole, like, there's a lot of division conversations that go on. But you have to have these type of vulnerable, honest conversations to where you get to see that we ain't that different. It may look a little different, but we're the same at our core. We just got to have some better conversations to really understand each other better without the bias, which leads me to my nugget, which is leave your representative at the house.
Right.
That goes back to the vulnerability. Stop going on a date, putting on a show for somebody if you want them to get to know you and you ain't even bringing your real self to the date. Like, leave a representative at the crib. That's for work hours. That's when you can code switch for the white folk at your job. But other than that, if you're going to be authentic and let people really get to know who you are and have these types of conversations.
Right. Jen, Dan?
Thanks for having me. Enjoyed you guys.
Likewise.
Yeah, I'll be willing to do it again. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah. So again, thank you everyone for coming on. This is Pillow Talk, where real and intimate conversations take place. I also want to thank NeverLeveled TV, where they created this platform so we can do it for the culture. That's why I created Pillow Talk, so we can really have conversations where we can dig deep and really pull back the veil behind the certain things of why we say the things, how we move. And sometimes the reason why we do those things are our protection mechanism. So thank you everyone for sharing your point of view. I'm excited. So the next topic, is going to be the green flags here on Pillow Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Follow your girl on IG at KDOTT Carter. And we out. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Bye, Nisha.
Bye. Love you guys.
Love you too.
I'll call you.
All right, Darius. Be easy.
You too, brother. Take it easy.
You too.
Guy.